Hello everyone. In addition to millions of livestock from popular breeds like Angus, Hereford Holstein, or Naguni, many cattle farms in the United States and some African countries are currently raising Longhorn cattle for meat, milk, or conservation purposes. In recent years, the most famous Longhorn breeds include the Angola Longhorn or Texas Longhorn. Additionally, the English Longhorn is also a very popular longhorned cattle breed in the northern part of the United Kingdom. From the Great Plains of the United States to the lands of African tribes, Longhorn cattle symbolize endurance, exceptional adaptability, and timeless beauty. Currently, we are in the western region of Uganda, home to the largest concentration of Angola Longhorn cattle farms in Africa. Like most cattle grazing areas around the world, every morning, these Angola Longhorns are released from their pens and roam freely into the pastures to graze. It is estimated that there are about 7.3 million Angola Longhorn cattle being raised in Africa, primarily located in East Africa, particularly in countries like Uganda, Rwanda, and Kenya. They hold great cultural and economic significance. According to the grazing habits of farmers in East Africa, herds of cattle, consisting of dozens or even hundreds of individuals, typically graze within a range of about 5 kilometers from the farm. In addition to helping farmers easily manage their livestock, another reason herders and their cattle don't need to travel far is that natural food sources in this area are abundant and readily available. Although this breed is culturally cherished in Africa, the Angola Longhorn is not the most common cattle breed on the continent. For decades, the Zebu breed has remained the most popular cattle raised in Africa. Current estimates suggest that there are over 300 million Zebu cattle on the continent. Longhorn cattle are primarily popular in East Africa, and their name originates from the Ankole people, an ethnic group mainly residing in the western region of Uganda and parts of Rwanda. On average, a mature Ankole Longhorn bull weighs about 500 kilograms, while the average weight of a female is around 360 kilograms. Compared to Angus cattle raised in the United States, Angola Longhorn cattle are about 30% lighter in weight. In the grazing pastures of Uganda, farmers typically store water for their livestock by constructing rainwater tanks or digging small channels to direct water. In the late afternoon, as the sun sets, the Ankole cattle are herded back into pens to rest. Since there are no predators around these farms, the cattle pens are built quite simply and without roofs. Most herders only need a basic space to gather the livestock close to where they live. Every 3 days or so, farmers burn straw or other materials to produce smoke in the pens, which helps control insects and other parasites. Additionally, they believe that this practice helps reduce stress for the animals in confined conditions. When Ankole Longhorn cattle reach the appropriate age for meat production, they are taken to livestock markets and then sold to slaughterhouses. It is estimated that around 2.7 million Ankole Longhorn cattle are slaughtered each year for meat. with over 60% of them raised in the western regions of Uganda. We bid farewell to the African plains and will head to several states in the United States to explore how farmers there raise tens of thousands of Texas Longhorn cattle. According to USDA statistics, by the end of 2022, there were approximately 273,000 Texas Longhorn cattle being raised in the United States, and as you might expect, many of them are raised on farms in Texas. Like many other cattle breeds raised in the U.S., Texas Longhorns are bred for meat and crossbreeding. However, the most notable contribution this breed brings to the country is its historical and cultural significance. Many farms in the U.S. claim to raise Texas Longhorns to preserve and honor the heritage of the American West. Additionally, this Longhorn breed is a symbol of the frontier era. Each year, only about 45,000 Texas Longhorn cattle are slaughtered in the United States, and meat processing is done exclusively on mature cattle. All cows of this breed are raised to at least 18 months old. Currently, the farm with the largest number of Texas Longhorns is located in Hill County, Central Texas. This farm has around 420 Longhorn cattle, and each year, between 100 and 130 Texas Longhorns from the farm are sold for meat production or used for recreational purposes or exhibitions. The Longhorn breed that impresses me the most is the Texas Longhorn. Its rich history and cultural significance, especially as a symbol of the American frontier, make it stand out. Plus, its resilience and adaptability in tough environments are remarkable traits. What about you? Let me know which Longhorn breed impresses you the most in the comments below. Hello everyone, agriculture is not only impacted by mammals like wild rabbits, wild boars, or rats. Each year, farmers and ranchers in Australia suffer significant losses due to millions of wild birds from the parrot family. Currently, 56 parrot species inhabit most areas of Australia, with an estimated population of over 17 million. Among them are species like the gala, the sulfur-crested cockatoo, the rainbow lorikeet, and the budgies, one of the most common parrot species on the continent. Parrot flocks typically range in size from dozens to hundreds of birds, and they can appear in the area where you live. In addition to making loud, bothersome noises, they can damage crops such as grains, fruit trees, and nut trees. Moreover, parrots can nest in unsuitable places, like gaps in your roof. Having dozens of parrots in your yard also leads to pollution from the hundreds of droppings they leave behind. Among the parrot species, the gala pink cockatoo is considered the most numerous living on mainland Australia. In the wild, galahs can be found in a variety of habitats, ranging from arid lands to forested areas. Additionally, these birds are commonly seen in urban and suburban areas as well.
I suppose I haven't made too many galah films really. I tend to focus on cockatoos. Hello, pretty.
This is a cattle farm in Roanoke County, southwest Queensland, and the surrounding area is also home to a flock of nearly 300 galahs, pink cockatoos. Galahs typically feed on grass and seeds daily. Hundreds of these birds often fly to the farm to seek water and food, but unfortunately, the food they consume is typically meant for livestock, including corn and various other seeds. The presence of these noisy birds causes a lot of trouble for the people working on this cattle farm. They don't just appear around cattle and poultry farms but also frequently gather in large flocks and fly to wheat or barley fields to feed. Galahs are often attracted to crops that are in the milk grain stage or nearing harvest. As soon as the seeding process is completed, these noisy birds can show up to eat the seeds. Imagine what happens when you have a wheat field ready for harvest, and suddenly hundreds of Galahs appear out of nowhere to enjoy a free meal on your field. In some areas of Australia, the breeding season for Galahs occurs from July to December each year, while in southern regions, their breeding season typically extends from February to July. During each breeding season, only 2 to 3 eggs are successfully hatched. However, once a young bird matures, it can live up to 25 years in the wild or up to 70 years if kept as a pet. If you start raising a Galah as a pet now, there's a good chance you'll be the one to say farewell to the world before your beloved pet does. It is estimated that more than 4 million Galahs live across Australia. Each year, these noisy birds cause around $173 million in damages to Australian grain farmers. To control the population of Galahs, some regions in Australia have implemented measures such as culling or trapping them. All control methods must comply with Australia's wildlife laws to ensure that the birds are treated humanely. It is estimated that implementing these Galah control measures costs the Australian government nearly $4 million annually. If you're an Australian like me, share with us the negative impacts that Galahs have had on your life. We'd love to hear your experiences. In addition to the Galah, the budgie, is another common parrot species in Australia, and the negative impact that these small birds have on agriculture is also significant. In the wild, budgies typically live in flocks of around 100 individuals, but the size of the flock can swell to thousands after the rainy season ends. The rapid increase in budgie numbers after the rainy season is due to the fast growth of vegetation, which provides an abundance of food and nesting materials. As a flock-dwelling species, budgerigars are a favorite prey for birds of prey, such as falcons. In most areas of Australia where budgerigars live, flocks of falcons can also be found. However, with an estimated population of nearly 5 million, the impact of these predatory birds on the budgerigar population is minimal. It is estimated that only about 1.3% of budgerigars in Australia die each year due to predators, diseases, or hunting. In most areas of Australia, the breeding season for budgerigars typically lasts from September to February of the following year. However, this species can completely halt breeding for a year if the weather is too dry or nesting materials are scarce. After about 6 to 7 weeks, the young birds are ready to leave the nest, and after each breeding season, the size of a budgerigar flock often increases by 13 to 17 times compared to the original number. Like most other parrot species in Australia, budgerigars also have the habit of feeding on seeds and grains. A flock of hundreds or even thousands of budgies can cause significant damage to wheat or sorghum fields as they approach the harvest stage. Additionally, fruit farms, such as those growing bananas or mangoes, are also favorite spots for these large flocks of budgerigars. In the wild, adult budgerigars need to drink water at least 7 times a day. Therefore, small water holes in Australia's arid regions are often places where you can easily spot these small birds. In some cases, when budgerigars cause damage to crops or other resources, landowners or Australian agricultural agencies may implement measures such as trapping, scaring, or shooting to control their numbers. In summary, the impact of millions of parrots on agriculture in Australia is significant, especially for small farms. However, compared to other pests such as wild boars or feral rabbits, the effect of parrots on Australian agriculture is relatively minor. Today we are going to visit mango farms in Australia to see how they cultivate and harvest this fruit. With large farming areas, the farms here typically harvest around 40,000 tons of mangoes each year. Late spring is the ideal time for farmers to begin planting new mango trees. In the warm air and perfect humidity, the young mango trees are carefully tended, taking root and growing strong. This is a critical phase for the success of the entire season, as the small trees gradually rise, preparing for a long journey to become fruit-laden mango trees. With a combination of modern farming techniques and a deep love for the land, farmers eagerly anticipate a bountiful mango harvest in the future. Steel wires are used to help mango trees grow steadily without tilting. The time from planting mango trees to harvest on these farms typically takes around 2 to 3 years. Spring brings new life to the mango orchards as branches begin to be adorned with tiny white blossoms, signaling the promise of a bountiful harvest ahead. This is the season when mango trees burst into bloom under the warm spring sunshine. From the time the flowers begin to blossom until the mangoes are ripe and ready, it takes about 105 days of careful nurturing. During this period, farmers must meticulously monitor the tree's growth, from the first blossoms setting into young fruit to the moment each mango reaches perfect ripeness, ready for a promising harvest season. These golden mangoes have reached their perfect ripeness, plump and fragrant, ready for harvest. This is the moment farmers have eagerly awaited after months of meticulous care. Each mango is carefully selected to ensure just the right level of ripeness, capturing its sweetest and most delicious flavor. As baskets fill with these luscious fruits, it marks a time of joy and fulfillment, a reward for the farmer's tireless efforts. Depending on the height of each mango tree, farmers adapt their harvesting methods accordingly. For shorter trees, they can pick the mangoes by hand, carefully plucking each ripe fruit from the branches. For taller trees, they use specialized tools like picking poles or even climb ladders to ensure the mangoes are not damaged. Each method requires skill and experience to prevent bruising and preserve the fresh flavor of the fruit. Regardless of the height, every mango harvested reflects the farmer's hard work and attention to detail, as the fruit begins its journey from the farm to the consumer's table. Would you like to visit a large mango farm like this and pick ripe mangoes with your own hands? Tons of mangoes after being harvested are transported to factories for packaging or juice production. At these facilities, the mangoes are thoroughly washed, sorted, and packed before being shipped to supermarkets. Additionally, tons of mangoes from here are also exported to other countries. Have you ever tried frozen mango? If not, it's an exciting experience with the naturally sweet and refreshing flavor. At this factory, after being harvested, each mango is carefully peeled and cut into evenly sized pieces, ready for the freezing process. This process not only preserves the fresh taste of the mango, but also maintains the natural sweetness of each piece. What's even more special is that hygiene at the factory is strictly monitored, ensuring that every piece of mango that reaches consumers meets the highest safety standards. From processing to packaging, every step reflects the commitment to delivering frozen mango products that are both convenient and of the highest quality for everyone to enjoy. What do you think about the cultivation and harvesting of mangoes in this video? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Goodbye and see you in the next video.